pass the gavel.
While Syed's coming up, can I make an editorial comment about what Dr. Dupree and his committee did? As a business owner, we have a code of conduct within our company. We have a code of dress. And my hats is off to Elyria schools for bringing your students up to what they're going to be encountering when they go off to get a job. So I applaud the effort that you're putting forth.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Mr. Igda, Mr. Stevens. Just to add what John and Terry has mentioned, we have been working since our last board meeting in August, on August 1st. We have been working on the program of requirements, which is, you will hear a lot of acronyms. POR, we call it POR, Program of Requirements for the new Elyria High School, which is 287,000 square feet. And so we have to with going over the district, with the district administration, we have to decide what areas are going to be allocated for what purposes. So our first meeting, initial meeting we had on August 16th, we presented a draft POR to the committee members, to core committee members, which include members from the district, our firm, AVG, and some members from AVG and Regency. We had 3.5-hour session, or 4-hour session that day, and it was decided by the end of the meeting that we should, AVG and Dr. Sutter and Miss Diane Quinn should sit down together and update or go over some program issues which they came up with. So what happened is we met with them on August 21st again, and we sorted out all the issues which the district administration brought it up in the first draft. So since then, this afternoon we had a meeting again to present the final POR to the committee again, and it seems like that we are all on the same page. In the meanwhile, what we did is we sent a copy to Ohio School Facilities Commission for their perusal, so they can see what, if they see anything which is drastically off, they can call us. So I got a call this afternoon from Ohio School Facilities Commission. While I was here, they left a message at my voicemail, and they had a couple of questions, and hopefully we'll be able to sort those out in next few days. And maybe if they won't, we can go to their offices and go over the POR with them, and hopefully this POR, Program of Requirement, will be ready for a presentation to the board. What we would like to request at this time is, I know this is your, there's a business meeting and then there is an action meeting. Next meeting is your business meeting, which is on September 9th. Oh, this is new. Okay. No.
We
this is a work
said this
session.
is the work session.
This is work
and then the next meeting is the business
Action.
for action. Yes.
And so what we were planning to do, and we are requesting you, the board, to see if you can accommodate us to make a presentation of the program of requirement on a PowerPoint presentation. We'll go over each and every, there are 14 different categories, and each category, like academic core area, has further 15 different line items which we have to go over. So what we would like to do is, in the next board meeting, which is on September 19th, is to go over the POR in detail with you, and it'll be obviously ready for the public to look at because it'll be on TV. So if you can accommodate that, we'll be ready. Hopefully by that time we'll have a OSFC preliminary approval, because we cannot move to the schematic phase unless you all are in agreement to the program of requirements. So
and
that's...
excuse me, then you would be asked to take that into your consideration and act on it October 3rd, I believe, is the first meeting.
That's correct.
Rather than have him wait until October 3rd and then act on it on the 17th, because the long road to the answer to your question is he can't do any. he won't do any drawings.
That's true.
I think he can, but we're very clear it wouldn't be appropriate that he would do any drawings before the POR has been approved by the board. So he is not putting pencil to paper, and that's the purpose of the request to be out of sync. Am I?
That's correct.
Correct.
That is correct. There's one more thing which we which happened since the last we met with Mayor Grace with him and his officials over there on August 13th for purpose of coordinating the vacating of 6th Street and any building related issues which we both may have some interest in. I know the city has a lot of interest in the project, and we would like to make sure that we are all on the same page. So we had a meeting, and then we have another meeting next Monday. I think it's on a monthly basis to coordinate things, with City Hall.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to add to that to help answer the question about why the design phase is as long as it is. There are 4 phases of design, and the program of requirements that Syed just spoke about is the very first and one of the phases. And each of those phases takes about 2 to 3 months because, as you heard earlier, we have to collect information in order to complete that phase and move to the next one. And as the construction manager, at the end of each one of those phases, and when Syed says he's going to make a presentation on October 3rd, we would also be looking at schedule and affirming budget. And so we have the program of requirements. Once that's been approved, we move into the schematic design. And schematic design, once it's complete, Syed it's about 30% information on the documents. So maybe the building starts to take some shape. Some spaces are defined. Once again, we're testing the budget, we're testing the timeline, and then that's brought to you for your approval. From there, we move into the design development. The drawings start to become 60% complete, so we start to see a lot of details. We start to see doors and windows and things like that. And again, at the end of that, we're going to test the budget again, make sure we're on budget, we're going to test the timeline, and then we're going to bring that back to you for your approval. And then the last phase is the construction documents, and those are the documents that we will put together that will go out for bid to the contractors.
Back to your question, Ms. France. Yes, we will have a PowerPoint presentation from this point forward because we believe that we're getting into the point of the project where there is going to be some visual presentation where we can show you buildings coming down, drill rigs on the job site, putting some bores in the ground. Will actually reflect the schedule to find out where we are with the timeline. One of the things that we talked, it was passed out at the last update of ours, was the treasurer's training. Back in '97, when the Ohio School Facilities Commission was developed, we realized early on that the treasurers or the business managers within the school districts, their eyes glazed over when they thought that they were going to be responsible not only for their daily duties, but also watching over what was happening on a major construction project. Elyria would be considered as a very major project. So back in 1997, Regency developed what was called our treasurer's training. And we came in with a PowerPoint that we say it lasts about an hour, but generally it lasts between 2 and 3 hours because the questions are very enlightening, because we've had treasurers that all they want to do is do their job and rely on us. And that's exactly what we tried to convey to Mr. Stevens and the superintendent of schools, that when we said to them, here's what's going to happen from a financial perspective on this project when you work for the Ohio School Facilities Commission. We made the pledge to Mr. Stevens that we would be doing the heavy lifting. And we have, in every school district where we've worked, we'll do the heavy lifting. Mr. Stevens just has to write the checks. and then that's no small tasks. However, there's a number of things we talked about. First of all, the procedures of how the money is received by your district from the Ohio School Facilities Commission. It's a very prescriptive process of how the money comes to your school district on a quarterly basis until all of the state money is run out. The real interesting thing about this